All right, family. All right, all right, all right. And what it do and how it be. And a good afternoon, late, early evening to y'all, family, right? Hope y'all's barbecue is doing good, right? Hope that all your Memorial Day wishes came true, family, right? Shout out to us who are the 1,200 plus strong, ever rising, believe in, who love on, who seek, hunger, and thirst, and have fun with, and enjoy, and love that, which is a different view. Family, welcome in. After yesterday's events with my wife and some of our friends, all I can tell to y'all family is Ohana. 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 Thank God for the brown seed, for those the tan, as old Benjamin Franklin said, the tawny. Man, I'm hyped today. Ohana. Again, Memorial Day weekend, family, deals with what do you remember? How many of us remember the word Ohana from Lilo and Stitch? Shout out to our Hawaiian brothers and sisters, right? This is very wise move by Disney. Going back on something that they had already done and making it a live action thing. This is where we're going to start, family. Again, the topic today, this is the Memorial Day edition, right? Because I'm not going to do one on Memorial Day. It's a time of rest for folks. It's a time of peace. It's a time of remembrance and reflection, right? So we're going to allow for that without y'all hearing my voice. You want to play this message on Memorial Day, so be it. Memorial Day, even Veterans Day. I think they got like a united military day. They got a couple of them, but all these different days are important, right? Again, let me see if I got it pulled up here. Let me see if I got it pulled up here. No, I was just looking at it right before I hopped on here with y'all. Yep. Again, remembrance, right? So we're going to say this from a certain perspective. Again, whichever perspective or belief that y'all are looking at, that you see, go with it, right? You won't find judgment here from me. I am not your judge. There's only one that is, right? We're someone who's on the watchtower, family. That's what I am. So we speak out. We see where things are. We join up with others to help life and godliness throughout humanity. Again, Ohana. Family, not only just your relatives, but interconnected family on the island in which you live. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. May it bind us together today, man. I tell you what, there's something about the native, whether the natives here in America, North America, South America, Central America, and the islands, whether we're talking Polynesia, which are all those multiple islands off the western coast of North America. Funny that one of them is still called French Polynesia because the French, again, aka Europe, got their hand in some mess they should not. It's interesting that the Hawaiian flag has old Union Jack. Same color scheme, not the same shape, right? Same color scheme that you see in Old Glory, right? Waving high, just to remind you you're owned. Take it for how you want, family. The importance of remembering. And he took the cup and gave thanks. This is Luke chapter 22. Something that we just got finished doing Easter time, right? but it don't ever change. This thought process never changes, family. Again, ain't nothing changed with the date on the calendar, but the thought process is still the same. Likewise, also verse 20, the cup after supper, saying, this is the cup in the New Testament in my blood. We're just going to skip over the obvious thoughts there with the whole idea of New Testament. Family, we live under a different, it's a variation of sorts. Never mind. In my, again, a Christian or Islamic, you take it for what you want, right? Anybody, doesn't matter who it is. In my blood, which is shed for you, but behold, the hand of him that betrayeth me is one that's at the table. He's having this is the Last Supper. Okay. We all know some folks here by which we didn't talk to them a couple months later that we had our last whatever with, right? Whether through death, argument, whatever it might be, right? Truly the Son of Man goeth, and it was determined, but woe unto him by whom he's betrayed. They began to inquire amongst themselves of who would do this, and here's the problem. See, later on in the Bible, why we have not put two and two together is because we have been blinded by massa, and we shout around the church and we run around that we run around that thing, man. I tell you what, we run around and around and around, but we ain't about that no more, family, right? Again, it's good to run, but it's good to learn too, man. I had seen the thing, simple question asked, talking about the different functions inside of church, like what went wrong. What went wrong is that people stopped caring about people. That's what went wrong. So your pastor, we got to take a time to talk. We're talking Ohana right now, right, family? This is a different type of family. In the Wiccan group, they got a certain kind of family, right? In the spiritualist group, they got a certain kind of family. The Republicans have a certain kind of family. The Democrats have a certain kind of family. Unfortunately, they're deceived by wordplay here. They don't realize they're on the same family. But I digress, right? This is why you can see Republicans and Democrats hang out with each other whenever they go to these different things, right? Since everybody is so, Bill Clinton this, but George Bush is this, or Donald Trump is this, but Joe Biden is this. And then when you go look at parties and stuff, they're all hanging out with each other. Kind of similar to like what happens with baseball players. Like back in the day, baseball players, Red Sox and Yankees wouldn't hang out. Then all of a sudden, right past the 2000s, all of a sudden, like everybody started to hang out with each other. Because they're all ball players. So they stopped doing that whole like, we're on different teams, so we're enemies. That's what they bought into. For the old school fan, it's like, right? For an old school ball player, it's like, For the new ones, they ain't about that. Which is what it is, right? Titus 3:9, but avoid foolish questions, foolish genealogies, foolish contentions. And see, I'm putting the word foolish there because when you look in the King James Version, it doesn't put the word foolish. But of course, we know as we're reading sentences, when you start off with an adjective describing something, then you put a couple words, you could easily just put the word that you use to describe the thing, which each word you're using, right? Foolish contentions and foolish strivings about the law, right? It's foolish, for they are unprofitable. See, again, the Maker made you to profit in this life. And this is why that measly $1,000, $1,100, $12 check you get when you should be at $14, $15, $16, $17, $18, $19, $2,000 check. Listen, I know it bumps the mind because you've been droned down so long that you're just supposed to be with the scraps. That's how the commoner, that's how the peasant. See, again, this thing affects each belief, each cultural group, right? This is how the commoner and the peasant was treated in England by the king and the queen. You get the scraps, and you be oh so thankful that we gave you those scraps because God blessed you with those, and you can make the best of them. My God. This is not about greed. See, do not confuse the two. This is about having more than enough, right? Been a while since I did it, right? But, tomorrow's going to be Sunday and they're going to shout good hallelujah about everything. So tap your neighbor. Said tap your neighbor one time. Say neighbor. Oh, man. Do not, say do not be weary. The Bible talks about a lot about perseverance, family. That's another one of these things in Memorial Day, right? Do not be weary in well-doing, for you will reap if you faint not. The Bible lets you know that if you give, it shall be given. Press down, yay. We do all that mess, family. All that mess, right? About giving and we giving offerings. We good givers, man. We are good givers. So we're talking about remembrance. That's what Memorial Day got to deal with. Again, Memorial Day is all centered around back in the 1860s, dealing with, from black folks, dealing with, you can look it up, the history of Memorial Day. Union soldiers, again, caught in a fight. See, when we talk about Memorial, same thing with Veterans Day. Each one of these wars, and this is something we spoke about at the beginning of this podcast, but we'll bring it to your remembrance because repetition is necessary for learning, right? At the end of the day, each one of these wars was pseudo, family. You did not have to have the quote-unquote American Revolution, because if Europe had kept their ass over there and didn't flood this country full of immigrants that they're now worried about pushing them out, See, nobody is being honest. The Bible says, if my people called by my name humble themselves, you have zero humility going on right now. They won't sit there. Again, we got that Adam complex going on. Saw a video on TikTok where, women, of course they, I hate the fact that they got on the Donald Trump hats and the Make America Great and all this. I wish they would take it off and it just be them. Because that's what it is. It's really just, it's their thought process. Again, those who mean to take money from you, your good tax dollar, and not use it, which is why everybody's all ticked off now. Everybody all pissed off and scared that the man is firing people off these offices. What did you think Massa was going to do? You think he's saving that money to save this economy? Wait. Whenever in history, since Europe came here, see, again, people not paying, whenever did they actually do good by the common person? Well, no. Don't give me the little bits they gave you, like affirmative action that they took back away just recently, right? That they're going to continue to chip away at, because that's how it works. The idea is for you to work on the railroad all the live long day. You supposed to stay there on that railroad and not make a damn peep, or they take you out back by one of them western mountains and shoot you. Maybe it be one of them mountains that is Mount Rushmore, that used to belong to our native brothers and sisters, a holy place of prayer and reflection that the U.S. government also took because they believed God gave it to them. Or whatever silly Handmaid's Tale excuse they wanted to use. Give and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, yeah. Shaken together, running over. That's how it's supposed to look, family, in your finances. Our finances. Mine, yours included. As long as you're up under master system, that will not work that way. Just say it till you get it in your heart and your mind. As long as you're up under their system, you will stay on the bottom. Which is why the Bible tells you, come out from among them and be, we haven't said that in a while. Come out from among them and be separate. The Lord is telling you that. You're going to have to square away with that in your heart and your mind. You cannot be around your brother, sister, no matter who it is, and they do not want to see your advancement, just theirs. Say it again. You cannot be around those who want to see just their advancement and not yours equally. And there is more than enough planet, earth, and water and air. Since they charge you for canned air. There is more than enough down here made by the good God, creator, fashioner, designer, great spirit above us all. But as long as you continue to suck down stuff, Memorial Day just going to be another American flag waving day for you. That's not anti-patriotic. If you love this land, if you love me, yeah. Hey, let's go over. Let's again bring it to your remembrance. What did Jesus ask Peter? We're talking about the guy who, I don't know him. I don't blankety blank know him. This is what we're good for talking about Peter for, and then we come back on the back and we skip over the prejudice part of it with his life and in his mind and in his psyche because he was highly prejudiced, right? Unnecessarily prejudiced to those who were the grafted in people of faith. Let's see what he said, right? Out of this same, let's see, is it this one here? Just make sure. I do not remember. And we got dead air going on. We don't want dead air. Let me just see if I can find it. So basically what it comes down to, and I'll look as we go along here. If you love me, right? We love God. This is we do all of this. Feed my sheep is what you're told, right? Again, another one of these things here from this question that a buddy of mine proposed, dealing with this whole, again, as they say, the fivefold ministry. Again, we're just letting you in on it. We're just peering in behind the curtain, right? Let's just bring this up here while I'm doing that. Yeah, here you go. I mean, just powerful stuff here. Just, again, we're talking about, we had talked a long time ago about prayer, right? Because this is this kind of thing, like you're supposed to pray for this nation. I'm not supposed to pray for the crooked way. Again, and I had said Long Island there, talking about, just a side note, on Governor Catherine Hochul. It wasn't just Long Island, New York, it's New York in general, as far as I've seen from the articles that are out here about this, inflation in whatever. $400 will not help you up in the highest point of the Buffalo. We'll just say it that way, up by the Adirondack Mountains, right? It will not help you in the most eastern part of the tip of Long Island, right? It ain't gonna help. Nowhere in New York is $400 gonna help you do anything today. What happens is that Massa knows that the gig is up. And what we're trying to do, like it's happened repeatedly throughout history, is be able to keep that thing positive for those who mean to take from you, not help you along in this life. They freed the slave, since we're talking about Memorial Day that was started by a bunch of slaves, that they done took now and made it all America. Again, not America, America. Right? They freed those slaves to nothing. This is what we talk about, right? Again, we now have enough money, family, right? Time has passed now. We have made enough money, whether by hook, crook, or blessing, or ingenuity in your mind, right? Blessing, okay? By which now we can pool our money together and go on now. Because ain't nothing changed on the calendar but the date. Ain't nothing changed. They still look at you. Man, I wish I could say it. I'm trying not to be too colorful with the language, but it's a way of saying it. You on the bottom. We'll say it that way. When they talk about this, we're our homosexual brothers and sisters. You are the bottom, right? You the one taking it, and they're not loving. They're not kind. There's no easing, nothing. It's just right up there. That's the way we'll say it without being too colorful, right? That's how it is. And of course, we know what happens homosexually happens also heterosexually. We just jumping right in. You ain't prepped for nothing. And that mess hurts, y'all, right? You gonna get an ouch. Hey, we'll keep it 100, right? You gonna get an ouch from your wife or something, right? Come on, fellas, right? This is why we put explicit content, because again, having natural conversation, that's a natural conversation we just had, right? But people, the way they look at it, oh, you can't talk about that. That's why we got broken relationships today, because we won't talk about the intimate things necessary. But wait now. But wait, there's more. Over in good old, let's see, where is it? In 1 Corinthians chapter 7. The Bible doesn't mix words on this, right? Hold on a second. Hold on. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication. Again, the word fornication, the base of it is dealing with going to the prostitute. Okay. So to avoid going to pay money for sex, right? Let every man get it from his wife. Okay. So y'all gonna have to know about how to get it and get it good, because again, the streets is always trying to take your husband. The streets is always trying to take your wife, right? You got to understand that. That's how this works. Again, the laws of attraction work between each other regardless of who it is. We're talking about memory. Keep in your, there's Memorial Day. There's another memory. Of course, memory is dealing with the dead, and we understand, right? Another word for it, dedication day, something like that, and just dealing with those who have passed. But we know a lot of relationships that is in the graveyard of life, man, because we ignored these kinds of things. And you either let the job, bills, other family member talking in your ear, all this kind of, and we're not talking about where the relationship is off and family members trying to save you from a fool out there, whether male or female. We're not talking about that. We're talking about like you allowed your family to get up in that mess so much that it broke up your family. Nuh-uh. Matter of fact, you are told to leave father and mother. Hey. You're supposed to leave them alone so that you can cleave to that one that's supposed to be help for you in this life. Ain't that what your Bible says? But because we listen to Master too much, now you got your mama's involved, your daddy's involved, your uncle and cousin is involved, your brother, sister involved, right? Maybe even your niece or nephew is involved. Man, you got to have a mind about all of us, family. Got to have a mind for ourselves. Again, what has God given us? Love, power, and a sound mind, right? Not the spirit of fear. Not fear. Power, love, and a sound mind. What more do you need in this life? Let every man have his own wife. This is 1 Corinthians 7:2. Let every woman have her own husband. That means y'all both supposed to listen, y'all. Okay. Again, when we talking sex education, man, this thing is supposed to be a two-way. Like the pager back in the 90s, family. It's going two ways. Same thing in government. It's supposed to go two ways. So if republic is something by the people, and democracy is government for people and by the people, what are we arguing about again? Confusion. And God is not the author of that. That is the adversary. And when we say what we like to say on this podcast, to take out the spook, those of an adversarial mindset. That's what you got going on. And we might as well be okay with it. Ohana. Ohana means family. And what it say in Lilo and Stitch is that it means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. How we have forgotten folks, right? Sometimes that thing takes little itty bitty steps. Ain't everything happening one night. Got to get away from that microwave thing, man. Some of us can be stubborn. We understand this, right? But again, the law of love, the law of liberty, as we've read about. Again, what the half-brother of James told you, right? To bring it to your remembrance. That we deal in not the law of death, right? For he that said, do not commit adultery, also said, do not kill. This is James 2:11. Now, if thou commit no adultery, yet if you don't commit adultery, but you're killing folks, you're a transgressor of the law. So, from the Christian standpoint, all these unnecessary wars going on, right? We're talking Memorial Day, and the soldiers that died. This is also this is a real good one to be able to put this in here. Is that we're talking about National Military Recognition Month, family. The military. You can say it however you want to. You know, there's been enough movies that have come out that kind of shown behind the mindset of the military member. Okay, right? And whether we know them as family members, as a friend of a family member, we're the child of military personnel, retired or active. Okay, they put their lives on the line for mess. You have got to say it that way. This idea of we hiding for nobility, man, when the veteran come back, what is they getting? Again, your black brother and sister came back. What did they get, family? They didn't get nothing, but they served this country. So as a military member, you're going to turn a blind eye to that? Wait. The other colors, or again, that's the word we use, colors, right? The other races, that's another one of them words we use. Again, we're not in a race. Okay, I know we transpose the word race, but again, the other ethnos in the military, you're just going to sit there and kind of, what? Because in war, family, man, do you know the horror that has gone on? I'm talking about inside the game, family. The Battle of Bamber Bridge over in jolly old England, right? Again, on the east, in the eastern hemisphere. We're not doing that. There's a little part hanging off in the west. Yeah, we know about how they reworded it. The way the planet was looked at back in the day, the east was very, very, very easily shown. And so was the west. So we don't want to hear what Master got to say. Right? Because again, we know in the 10 areas of people activity, you don't have control over what's going on here, because if you did, black brother and sister, specifically, right? Or our Latin brothers and sisters, or even our Asian brothers and sisters. Of course, our Polynesian brothers and sisters, but those who are okay kind of making excuses for the man, as they say. Education is one of those activities that you do not own, right? Because nobody knows about the fact that Hawaii is invaded by Britain. How many of y'all know that? Some do. We know some do. Not a lot don't. That's the point. The power's in the masses, not in the little bit. You know, it's in where 2 or 3 gather, not like 1 and 1.5. That's not... Economics and education, family. They run that. Now, we have made much progress. We won't douse the fire here. We have made much progress. There's more to go. Occupation. They took the show on the road, family. We told you that. And Hawaii was no different. Polynesia's no different. Australia was no different. We're just saying what it is. India was no different. They wanted it all, family. I think Alexander the Great was bad, man. They kind of like, it's almost like they went in the lab and perfected that thing. This is why a certain group of black folks call the so-called white person the scientific deceiver. That's why. Because it's like you're using science to bring mass confusion and deception on folks. And then folks sit back again, talking about another one of them, which is health on this list. You get mad when folks go back to like, root medicines and all that kind of stuff. This is coming from the earth. God made this. You going to talk about how hellish it is? This is why we don't get on our Wiccan brothers and sisters. At least they're tapping into the energy. Why aren't you? You so quick to get on them. Leave that alone. We ain't worried about them. God put the turmeric down here, right? He put the curry powder down. He put the curry down here. Ginger. At the very least, we could actually use the powders. We don't even use them powders like that. Paprika. Comes from crushed red peppers, family. Not like red hot peppers. We're talking red peppers that you get in the supermarket. Do you know the benefits of paprika? You go look it up. We're gonna leave homework for folks. We have become drones and slaves. Ain't nothing changed with the date on the calendar, family. They let you off the plantation, and now you're still slave to them in an opposite way. They don't want to let go. Did Pharaoh let go of the Israelites? Since the Israelites have a problem killing their Palestinian brothers and sisters, did the Israelites get let go by the Pharaoh willingly? Were they wrong for standing up for their freedom? Christians playing a good game of DID out here. We're trying to make like 2-3 different type of personalities. That ain't the case. It's very simple. There is an enmity between those who are greedy and those who are not. Ohana family. Both your family that you are connected to by blood and connected to neighborhood-wide, county-wide, town-wide, city-wide, state-wide, nationwide, planet-wide. This is a great power and energy in which we deal with, family. Put here by the great God and maker of all. That's a real thing. And of course, for our females, we aim for, we know everything is made in His likeness, goddess as well. We understand. Of which we need to give respect to the feminine in this life. That ain't no spiritualism we talking about. Matter of fact, there's too many verses in the Bible that keep talking about how you got to be spiritual to understand the thing. Of course, we know we're talking about spiritual coming from God, but that, again, you got to understand spiritual things, which again, if you know that the life has been endued, this is why I don't have a problem wearing stones, crystals, however you want to call it. God made them rocks, put them on your body and let that energy run through you. That's all. You don't know because nobody studied nothing. Nobody has respect for nothing. You sit in the seat of the scornful. That's the seat Master gave you. That's the only seat in the table you got. The one where you make fun of everything that's important for you. That's it, right? We have to stop lying and duping ourselves, man. Memorial. Memorial's definition here, as we're at 30 minutes. Again, people got barbecues and but it's pasta salad and the ribs and the corn and the green beans and the collard greens, and we know, right? Folks got stuff to do. The pasta and the ziti, right? Or the bratwurst, right? Knockwurst, all that kind of stuff for our German brothers and sisters, right? All over the planet. Jerk chicken, all over, right? Memorial. Because again, memorial, especially Memorial Day, is not just celebrated in the United States or in North America. It's all over. That's another one of those things you can look up. Memorial meaning. And they're going to say a structure. Again, this is kind of this is kind of the layup stuff here. Something, especially a structure established to remind people of a person or an event. Which is when we get into this whole idea of cancel culture, right? Don't let them dupe you. You want to take that thing down and remember that mess. They got you walking down these streets. The names ain't named by you. Presidents all over the place and everybody else. You know, of course, they got like tree names and stuff like that. That's cool. Right? But constant reminders of stuff. There ain't no Jermaine Boulevard. We got Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, that's cool. That's, again, reasonable service, right? Malcolm X Drive or whatever. You know, certain things like that. We understand that, right? Hopefully we get a Nina Simone Avenue if there isn't one already. I mean, again, you got some contribution here that we could, again, if we so integrated, man, we can mix it up a little bit, right? Little Montezuma Alley. We're just saying what it is, okay? We know they ain't trying to do all that mess, but still, we're just having fun with it anyway. Not as a joke, you know, as a using humor to highlight some sickness, right? Remembrance. Remind you of what's going on, family. For every black person lynched, shot down by police, crooked police. Our dear sisters, right? Or sister in Tulsa, I believe she's one only female survivor left of that sickness that was done in the 1920s. Right? Who went to the state governments before Tulsa and told her that she ain't getting nothing. Because that's what Massa got for you, was nothing. And as has been told by our Islamic brothers and sisters, that you love Massa because they give you nothing. Right? Again, when you start doing apologetics, it's interesting what you find. It's time we stop. It's time we stop giving excuse, family. Right? It's about Ohana now. Always has been. That's what the Maker gave us. We were birthed by two parents who birthed those two parents, and so on and so forth. Again, all the extra stuff like how good they are to you is a separate topic. We're talking about what you've been given, which is family. Watching that movie with my wife and our friend, shout out to y'all, right? Shout out to you, honey. Powerful. Powerful, powerful. Put me right back to when they made that first animated one, man. Because they got a couple of them. But that first one, man. Foster care. That little girl's in the Lilo was in the foster system, family. Or on foster systems death's door. I can't talk. That's how you know it's time to end. That's how you know we're at the close, right? Put you in remembrance of the foster system that does not give a damn about these children. I watched it with my own mother. Shout out to your mama in heaven one time, man. Talking about a memorial. Taking care of kids. With a 16-year-old son taking care of other people's kids. That's a real thing. And we don't talk no ill will of our parents in that regard like that, man. There's something that was necessary, okay? To each their own. You come to your own conclusions, right? If we don't take care of each other, family, who's going to do it? This is a real question. Or are we okay just letting them just kind of flop around, however? These kids need us. You tired of watching the gangbanger and all that kind of stuff in the street? That mess happened when they're kids. These thoughts are in the mind when they're little. Again, not only just your wife, your husband, talk to them kids. Sun up, sun down, middle of the day. They got these cell phones and doing all type of stuff. Make sure there's a couple of messages coming across from you every day. We're just saying what it is. Stepsons, sons, don't matter. Memorial. You know, there's a joke came to mind while we were waiting to go to the movies yesterday about marriage and relationships, right? Because it's another thing we got to remember on Memorial Day. There should be like a rookie league or like college for husbands and wives, man. Especially when you get young, you know, because you get young, right? You're right around 20, 25, somewhere in there, right? Or maybe mid-20s when you get married, all that kind of. We know there's some younger relationships to get married and all that kind of thing, right? You don't know. And a lot of people just go around just, you know, you figure it out. We figured it out. You figure it out. That's not how that goes. You better teach them. Why would you want your children to run their head against the brick wall? Does that make sense? That sounds like something that somebody mean would do to someone. Again, you learn two ways in life. By instruction or by experience. Most of the successful most of the successful people groups on the planet do things by instruction. Yeah, you got some hands-on, you know. You get to, as we let Snoopy play in the background here to play us out. Take a sip of this water from this Captain America cup. Shout out Memorial Day one time. They won't learn unless we teach them, family. Just kind of, you going to learn it by osmosis. That's how your daddy learned it. You going to learn it. Or that's how mama learned it. Nah. Help them out, family. They're going to make enough mistakes on their own. Then you don't need to give them more. Feed my sheep. When you look at the word feed, right? And feed the lambs. Do you love me? Because this is everybody, and we OGs, we original out here. Okay, it shows. It's supposed to show in some actions. It's another thing James talks about is the actions. Feed. The word feed means nourishment. Right? That's one of the meanings in the word. When you look at the etymology, we're not doing it for time's sake because we're at the close. We're starving out here, family. So we're not feeding each other. You look into another fast food restaurant to do it, but we're starving out here. We're starving our bodies. That's why we look the way we do. And this is for me, anybody, right? We're starving our minds. You got to get to the places of meditation and thinking. Again, this is why we think and are so loose, easily deceived as we are, because we're not firmly rooted in the truth. So it's easy to get caught across by some weird article you see online and all that stuff. Double check everything they tell you. I said listen, if you can study your Bible, then you sure enough can study one of them articles coming through online, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Double check everything you see. Because clearly for the longest we've been doing Memorial Day like it was a military thing, and it's not. Not solely. Remembering those who, listen, that thing happened during the Civil War, family, at the end of it. At the base of that, listen, we know it's not the whole of the thing. We know over here on this podcast, we know for sure that, right? Family, we know it's not. We know that was fighting for money. But at the same time, black folks was there, man. They believed that the Union was fighting for them black folks. Somebody got to care about somebody. Right? You put up a memorial. Tattoos are a memorial. That's why I don't trip on people who have tattoos, man. We know what it is. I mean, unless you was doing it in some devil ritual or something like that. But if you wasn't, that's not the case then. So why are we even talking about that, right? I don't know why Christians bring up stuff like I don't know where that's coming from. Again, if you choose not to do a thing, that's your business. Yeah, Lilo and Stitch was a good movie. Family, take your families to go see it, right? Ohana, take your family to go see it, right? Shout out to our Pacific Island and Asian people groups one time, man. Such blessing, such knowledge given to that people group, shared to history, shared to other people. Oh, what power. That may we this Memorial Day keep at the forefront of our memory the word Ohana, which means family. And that family never left behind and not forgotten. That's what I got for y'all today, family. Thank you for walking this road with me. And as always, and until next time, happy Memorial Day weekend, right? Be safe out there. Don't do nothing silly. As always, look to find the beauty in a different view.